So I just thought we would show you, it's what I call rumbling. Rumbling, turbulence, turning over, basically, the hops in the FE. So this is the first of the birthday beers we brewed. Hops have been in there for 4 days. I'm going to give this tank, and probably the second birthday beer tank, well, I'm going to give the third birthday beer tank a rumble, but after today, for this one, it's on cold crash then. So we've got 7 days until we're canning. So that should give us plenty of time to drop everything out of suspension, get it carbed, and then we should get good to go. So simple contraption. I think I use these for top pressure when we're kegging and stuff, or when I was pushing into those barrels. But it's essentially 1.5" RJT to inch, and it's like a really simple T with a John Guest 3/8 push fit fitting on it with a little ball valve. Pressure gauge is long dead, and it's been soaking in sterilant as always. Now I pop it on because, as we all know, oxygen is a hazy beer's worst enemy. So what I do is I get CO2, get that one off. I get it connected up, but get it connected loose. Like this, you see that? So it's loose. And I pop the CO2 on. I turn the CO2 on for a bit. This tank's getting a little bit low, got to replace it. And I let it go to flush any oxygen that's in the line and in the fitting and just in there, and just flush it out until it's getting warm. I'm starting to see a few little fruit flies knocking around as well, so I need to keep an eye on that. The floor down here needs a bit of a clean as well, actually. And then I seal it up. And then we're good then. So in theory, this is sealed up. There's no pressure in the tank, but it's getting a little bit low. So I might have to switch this over to a new CO2 bottle. But then, hopefully, worth note, I've got a one-way valve on here. So beer, if it does overcome the gas, it can come up the gas line and get into the regulator. Hopefully, I should slowly open this. There's very little pressure in here, actually. Release that pressure in the tank. Probably should hear a little bit of a gas release. And hopefully, oh, that's smelling good. We should start to see here CO2 go through here. There we go. I don't know if the mic's picking that up. I'll bring you this down. You hear that? So that's blowing CO2 through the bottom outtake port, the very bottom port of the FE, up through the cone, and hopefully it's lifting all the hops up. Probably all the yeast as well, but, you know, we'll live resettling it. We're going to, you know, dump all this trub off eventually. Just give it a good old rouse, really. Just really make sure we've got as much contact time out of those hops as possible before we put on to cold crash. Cold crash will probably set this at 1 degree, set the chiller at about -3 or 4, and just give it a really good hard cold crash, and then probably start to carb it a couple of days, 2-3 days before we're due to can. We've got the carb stone fitted, so carbing really is done in 24 hours, but we'll just give ourselves a little bit of leeway. But yeah, you should be able to hear that rumbling now. Good. Well, hello everyone and welcome back. Back to the brewery on another day, and we are now preparing for canning day ahead of the birthday party. Look at the stack of those cans. That kind of makes it all a little bit real, doesn't it? When you've got a load of beer up in these tanks, and then probably about half of it out of each tank is going to be going down into these cans. Yeah, going to be a big day tomorrow. Got a lot to do. Got 2,500 cans to fill, which is exactly what we've got there. Yeah, 2,500, and then probably about about 14 kegs-ish, probably, from each of these tanks. Probably a little bit less out of this tank here, because that's had the biggest dry hop, so we'll lose a bit more. So maybe 12 or 13, but round about sort of, you know, between 12 and 14 kegs out of each tank as well, plus 800 cans. We'll have a few losses along the way, you normally do. There's a couple of cans here, annoyingly, casualties from transport, but what we'll probably do is we'll probably make sure they go into the machine first. We usually lose about the first 6 to 8 cans just when you're priming the machine, just to sort of, you know, sanitizer still in the lines, and then DO and stuff like that. So they'll be the sacrificial cans, but you know, a little kind of sneak peek in theory. Organised Chaos, that's the 6.7 New England IPA. There's a little show there of Crush, so that's the Crush and Galaxy 5% Pale Ale. And then just here, Luna, which is a 4.6%, all Citra, but every single type of Citra you can think of. Hazy Pale Ale, it's a real favourite in the tap room. But yeah, all designed, labelled, printed, and ready to go. Yeah, quite excited. But of course, one of the fringe benefits for putting this much work in and owning one of your own breweries, it's got to be sampling the beer fresh out the tank just before canning day. I think that's kind of like, it's a divine right, I think, isn't it? So let's give Organised Chaos a little test, shall we? See if I can swizz you around. So you'll see I've actually made up my own little, it's called a pigtail, which is essentially, it replicates like a dispense line in a bar or whatever. Just a really long length of 3/16 going up to the dispense tap, the sample tap. So if I just take a little bit out of this first and just run out what's in here. Let's get that stuff out, because I haven't had a sample for a couple of days, so. Get rid of what's there. And get a little sample. I'm not sure if you better see that. But it pours really nicely. It's a good way of getting a sample to really see what the carbonation's like. Give you like a true reflection. There she is. This is using Haze Heaven from WHC, which is the first time. Oh yeah, but there's Motueka and Nelson Sylvan in there, so a kilo each in the Whirlpool, and then 4 kilos of Motueka in the dry hop, 2.5 kilos of Nelson in the dry hop, and 200 grams of Citra Spectrum, which roughly 100 grams roughly equates to about a kilo. So yeah, that's in 850 litres. So I'll let you do the maths on the grams per litre on that one, but all creamy. Just a nice bit of bitterness as well, which is what I like. Even in these big hazy beers, I do like a good bit of bitterness in there. I just think it just makes the beer right, I think. Fly, let's get into that time of year. I think that will still quite green, so super fresh, because this was brewed 3 and a bit weeks ago, so it's still quite fresh. I think it'll improve in can a little bit as well, and it'll go through a bit of packaging shock. That's why we're packaging it on Tuesday for release at the birthday party on Saturday, because that'll give it a few days for just the beer to recover. Packaging shock is a thing in my book, and that, I think the Motueka will stand out more, will jump out more. But this Haze Heaven is a very yeast driven. It's got a lot of kind of yeast character to it, more than I was expecting, to be fair. Not in a bad way, but Oh yeah, I could sink a few of those. It's got a really good bitterness to it as well. It's that good, I'm gonna have another little sample. It's the perk of the job of having the place, right? I might be inclined to maybe just up the carb a bit more on this, you know? I think it wouldn't hurt it. I do like a good solid carb on, especially my hazies and definitely even like the saisons and stuff like that. I mean, the carb's good, don't get me wrong, really nice tight bubbles. I'm not sure whether you can see that. Really nice tight carb, holds the head real nice. That really makes that Moto Eca jump out more. Then you've got that great kind of Nelson kind of white wine behind it, which is really nice. And it is thick. 6.7% though, mine, so. Yeah, I might give that a little tweak. I might, because it's 10 o'clock at night. We won't be canning this until 10 tomorrow. So yeah, 10 tomorrow. It's got another 12 hours, so. The crush one, I'm just going to test now as well and just see where it's at, but oh yeah, no, that's lovely. I'm happy with that. Let's go and test the crush. So let's just go and give this glass a little rinse. And then we can move the pigtail over from here. Pull that down a sec. Yeah, and the idea is I can just slip it over like this and I can move it between tanks. I might make one up. It's a recent thing that I just thought of. It's like, why don't I have any pigtails? Oh, that's a bit weird of an angle, isn't it? Come on, down, keep going. Here I am, down, let's go. Go down, come down. There we are. Yeah, I might make one up for each tank, to be fair. Then it would just be good to have them there all the time. So let's get a sample of this one. You gonna follow? Follow me. So yeah, let's get a sample of this one. Hopefully you can see this. Is that gonna come down? You can see what the see what the pigtail can do. So it means it just dispenses really nicely, just like it would out of your dispense system in a pub or a bar. This one definitely looks like it's got slightly stronger carb than the other one. So this one is New Hop Crush and Galaxy. It's all Crush and Citra hot side, and then Crush and Galaxy dry hop. This was fermented with LAX, so it's not as like juicy. It's got that little bit of dryness to it. Kind of like berries, passion fruit. Nice though. I think that's going to dry out even more, I think, given a bit of time. Again, just while it conditions, it's only 3 weeks old, so I think, and it might even drop a little bit brighter than that as well. Again, a nice bitterness to it. I just don't like a beer that's sweet in its right place, but not bad. Happy with that. Well, it's going into can tomorrow, so there's no backing out now. Yeah, higher sulfate. Still a little bit chloride behind it, but a higher sulfate. It's a little bit more bite, a little bit more snap. And I think that'll improve over time as well, as it get drier. So yeah, bob on. So I've tested the other beers. I think the right thing to do is to test the Impy Stout and see how the carb's going for that. That's been on gas for like a week now. It's had a couple of shakes. It's had the oak spirals in it. It's had the bourbon in it. I think it's only right. I'll give it a test now, right? I mean, it's 11 o'clock at night. Got to give it a go. Well, would you look at that, people? That is carved up an absolute beauty. I don't know if you can see how silky that is. Oh, wow. So that's like 3 months old now, right? I never would have imagined that beer I tasted out of tank towards the back end of fermentation that essentially smelt like nail polish would smell like that. Oh, that's got oak. That's got bourbon, licorice, molasses. Oh, they're like the darkest, you know, that really dark chocolate you get sometimes at like restaurants and dinner parties, like bitter dark chocolate. That. Oh my word. That has just rounded out so much. That's insane. Don't get me wrong, I mean, that's only 3 months old, so another like 10 months of that would just be outstanding. But if that is 3 months with some oak spirals and a bit of bourbon, oh, that's going to be outrageous as a beer to put on at the end of the night. Well, not the end of the night, but towards the back end for the birthday party. Whew. Happy with that, definitely. If you're not coming to the birthday party, then keep your eyes open when we'll be bottling this and releasing this in, yeah, probably about a year's time. Might even release it this time next year for our 3rd birthday. You never know. Oh, outstanding. All I can say is a massive thank you to Damien at the Emperor's Brewery, who helped me with the recipe. Couldn't make it for the brew day to come and brew it with us from that collab sense, but, you know, helped me out loads with understanding the recipes and sort of things you need to hit and achieve. Mate, I know it's probably nowhere near the quality of yours, but I'm chuffed to bits with that. Yeah, that's awesome. Bring it.